What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports PGA Showdown Round 3. We're breaking it all down, talking about the Showdown slate. We got our guy Snyder here. You look fresh off the course. Did you get some golfing today, Snyder?
Funny story is actually a blizzard here today for about 2 hours. It was pretty wild here. It stopped snowing. It snowed for about 2 hours. It was pretty wild, but no, I've just been at the casino firing some bets. Been a good start to the day. Had a big bet on Gonzaga and North Carolina, so that's a good way to start the day out.
Yep, I had Gonzaga. That's my team. I don't follow college like I used to, but when I was younger, they were my team. I lived and died with them. But nice to get a win over Holden's team. Happy to see that. And then I won some money off it, and UNC did well too. So excited about that. I think I have one more bet tonight. I can't remember which one. We got so much going on over here.
Oregon?
What?
Did you bet Oregon?
I did not bet Oregon. That's what is the line on that
one? It's down to 4 now.
Okay. I might consider getting in. I think I only made 3 bets. I couldn't remember, but I think it's because
playing too. Yeah, you might have Tennessee.
Yeah, I could have that. Like I said, I can't remember. There's too many bets. Yeah. There's too much going on right now, right? Tons of stuff going on over here as well. Obviously, we got the round 3 showdown that we're going to break down right now for you guys. I believe they start like 7:30 in the morning. I saw the tee times are out. Snyder, do you want to go from the top to the bottom? How do you want me to sort this out here on the?
Yeah, we usually do start at the top of the leaderboard and kind of go down just bit by bit and kind of break it down.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So, let's see. Obviously, these miscut guys are in the way, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to try and scroll, and there we go. We'll make it perfect. We got Keith Mitchell. He is at the top at 10 under, 9,100. I know, Snyder, when it comes to these events, and he's only 10 under right now. Obviously, it's kind of been a lower scoring event. These guys at the tops, they seem like they become better fades, unless you think the
might be on round 3. Are you on round 3 or round 4?
Oh, I'm on the wrong one, aren't I? Let's see. Hold on. Let me double check. I'm on round 3. You're right. I clicked the wrong slate. That's how it is.
That's all good. I was wondering because he costs a little more than that on the final round show.
No, I know. Here, hold on. We got it here now. All right, 9,600. So here we go. We got the now have the projections in, so it is what it is. That's okay. We'll go through each one though. So Keith Mitchell, he is 10 under, 2 ahead. We got Malnati at 8 under, Power 8 under, and Mac Hughes 8 under. I don't think salary is going to matter, Snyder. A lot of the good golfers are gone, right? They're just not in this event anymore. Yes, you have Cam Young up there at 10K, but salary might not be a huge deal for sure. Break down this top range though. Let's stick with the top 5. So from Keith Mitchell to Brendan Todd, how are you handling this range, Snyder?
Yeah, I actually like Keith Mitchell a lot tomorrow. Usually I like to find a couple guys I think can win the event and then kind of move down the board a little bit and fade some of these guys up top. But I think the stats on Keith Mitchell are just way too good to pass up here. I mean, he gained over 4 strokes approach today, gained off the tee, gained around the green. He shot 5 under today while losing almost 2 strokes putting today. So I think he left a lot out there, most notably on the front 9 when he had kind of a rough stretch there. He had, 3 bogeys in a 4-hole stretch, including a par 5. But he played lights out down the stretch, including an eagle on 18. Shot 29 on the back 9. I think Killa Keith is going to get another win this week. So I'm going to be heavy on him at 9,600. Like you said, it's not too salary restricted on this slate. As we had JT up near the top of the leaderboard going into today. He's priced up there at 10.8, but our guy JT shot I think he shot an 80 or something like that today. So that was a rough scene from Mr. Thomas today. But I'm right there mainly on Keith Mitchell. I think I could fade Power and Hughes. Hughes did it all with the putter today. Gained 2.5 strokes with the putter. Lost a lot off the tee. His irons were average. They were fine today, but I think I'll get off of him and go to our guy, Mr. Malnetti. I think he's another guy that I'll look to. I don't think many people will play him at 8K flat. He's usually a guy in the 6K range, so I think we could get Malnetti a little lower owned. So I'm going to start my a lot of my teams with with Mitchell and Malinetti then.
Yeah, I definitely like that. One thing I will say too about Mac Hughes, I always know Mac Hughes is a guy that he does pretty well at some of these like grinded out events. And, this has been a grinded out event. So I don't totally hate him there. As we go down, let's go to the guys who are, we'll go all the way to the T8, the T8 guys all the way to the T18, right? So all the way to 4 under. A lot of guys in this range, Snyder. I'll start with this. So Adam Svensson, he's a great golfer to take, especially when he's at the top, because one, his irons have probably been dialed in a little bit. Two, he's a guy that is really good at pin hunting. And if you're going to get that like ceiling score to get up towards that top 3, top 5, I think he has the ability to do it. I think he's someone that I would definitely be interested in, just knowing the type of golfer he is. I'm sure you'll touch more upon him. You were shaking your head before. You got Cam Champ at 7-1, which feels cheap for someone like Cam Champ. And then it gets kind of ugly with a lot of these golfers that we have here. Hopefully you have some stats here to help us out. I know KH Lee, he is definitely someone that I always like playing. Think it's a good spot for him. Lucas Glover at 9-4 sounds egregious, Snyder. I want you to touch on that because it sounds egregious, but he's been playing some pretty good golf, and he's someone that can kind of get hot for sure at the right time. Then I always like playing Thomas Dietrich. He feels like a guy that can get those eagles, and eagles are super important on the showdown slates, right? So obviously, so is getting the not getting bogeys and just getting like the birdie streaks and stuff like that. That scoring is very big in showdown format. So I like to look for those golfers, and Dietrich strikes me as one of those guys at 7,700. But touch on this range, Snyder. How are you handling the T8s all the way to the T18s?
Yeah, we got a pretty good sized range here. I think I'm going to be off of Cam Champ, though. He's a guy that I like to target on courses other than this. I mean, he played great today. He had the best round of his event here as he kind of snuck in on the cut line. Was 2 under, actually. So he's inside the cut line by a couple of shots. But today the putter was just on point for him today. Gained over 2 strokes putting today. Didn't hit the ball that great. The irons weren't that great. So I think Champ will be a fade for me tomorrow. I could play some Hadwin. I think he's fine there. And then Svensson, like you said, it's kind of a higher price tag for him, but he turned it on late today. I mean, he had a rough start today. He was 2 over through 8 holes and then kind of picked it up there on those last 10 holes and ended up shooting 2 under, which is good considering where he started. So Svensson's kind of done it across the board this whole event too. So I think Svensson's a fine option this week. A few events a little too late. I know we were on him a couple weeks ago, and that was hurtful from him, but maybe he can fully redeem himself here tomorrow. So I do like some Svensson. Ryan Moore shot 4 under today. That was like his best round of, I guess he shot. Yeah, that was definitely his best round of the event.
That might be his best round in like 2 years. That's
I think he's an easy. I think we know what to do with him, and that's send him back, and hopefully people play him off of that one spike round. Bramlett's always a guy I kind of consider like I'll have him in the pool for sure. Not like a main team kind of guy, but I think he's fine to throw in there. Lee Hodges was a guy I was high on coming into the event. Kind of let me down early. Made the cut on the number, but today he shoots 5 under. So the irons were on point today. Gained over 3 strokes approach. Had the putter rolling as well. So Lee Hodges is a guy that I'm going to definitely go back to. He was one of my higher owned values this week, and he's still at a good price range there, 7,100. So Hodges will be a guy I have ranked high in that low range. And then I'll be going down. I don't mind Dietrich. Yeah, he's played better this week than he has the last few weeks. A couple of 2 under rounds and then an even par round. So I think Dietrich's fine to throw in there if you want. And then our guy Lucas Glover was actually on the fade list today. He shot 1 over today, but I think tomorrow we jump right back on Glover. So I do like some Glover tomorrow. He lost 1.4 strokes putting today. It was blah the rest of the way across the board. He still made 4 birdies today, so I think Glover's fine. He's got some good birdie upside there as well. And then Strillman was on the fade list today as well. He ended up shooting 2 over today. He still made 4 birdies so today too. He just made a lot of mistakes today. So I think Strillman, he really struggled with the short game. Lost 2 strokes with the short game today. I think Strillman's the guy we could look at tomorrow with no pressure on him. He kind of had a little bit of pressure on him today up near the top of the leaderboard, and he was the clear fade, I thought, today on moving day. But tomorrow, maybe Glover and Strillman, we kind of flipped the script with them from what we had yesterday into tomorrow.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of plays in this range that I really feel like can make a run, Snyder. Like a ton. Yeah. So I really like this range. Good range to live into. Glover's one that you mentioned I definitely like a lot. Think that's a really good call there. Let's slide on down. Let's go to this. Let's go to the T27. So those -3s, and then we'll lump it in the bucket with the T46. So the guys that are basically still under par. We'll go with them. So Hayden Buckley in that range. Our guy JSU Bezadenhout, he's in that range as well. And I don't know. These guys are clearly not in it, right? Like you got to shoot an 800 to even get back in it. I mean, someone could shoot a lights out round and maybe get up there, and then a lot of guys collapse. But these guys are clearly out of it. Does not mean we can't play them in Showdown. They can clearly still get at the top. There's no pressure there on them. A guy that I feel like could shoot pretty low here is an Eric Cole. I'm curious your take on him. I know he's someone that people are probably very sour on right now, but I think you have to be able to make a little bit of a case for it. A Taylor Moore and Adam Schenk, those are some interesting guys. And then we have the 11K Xander Schauffele. I wonder what we do with him. Do we think he just sends it packing? Obviously, we have a lot of salary to spend there. You got Matt McNeely there. He's another guy that can pin on it and definitely get it done. So a lot of these guys that, like I said before, we didn't have a lot of these like spends or these like named golfers in the field. I know a lot of them missed the cut, but I'm curious your take if there's any guys here that are expensive or some of these like named golfers that we're going to take a shot on, even though they're kind of out of the event right now. Or maybe you think someone can actually get back into the event and have a big day. But who do you like here that's like, basically under par here from that range?
Yeah, I do like Eric Cole quite a bit tomorrow. The irons were great for him today, gained over 2 strokes approach. The short game was just absolutely disastrous from today, most notably the short game with around the green. He lost almost 2 strokes fully, like 1.9 strokes around the green today. So I think he can kind of clean that up tomorrow. I mean, the first 2 days he gained around the green. The first 2 days he gained over a stroke the first 2 days. Then today he comes out and loses over 2 strokes around the green, which really killed his round because he started out good. He went birdie to start the event, and then gave 3 right back to end the front 9, shooting 1 over on the front 9, and then on 11 he makes birdie on that par 5, and then he eagles the par 5 14. So I think Cole definitely holds that great birdie upside and an eagle upside that we need, and I have a hard time seeing people pay 9-3 for Eric Cole off of subpar round. He was good in round 2. He had a bad round 1 where he shot 1 over. Round 2 he comes back with a 4 under round. Today was kind of down. I think tomorrow we see a little seesaw action here. And I think we see Cole shoot right around 4 under par again tomorrow, like he did in round 2. So I do have a decent amount of conviction in Eric Cole tomorrow. Xander Schauffele, he's one of those guys that we'll just see like out of the blue. It's kind of like Rory on Sunday. Sometimes we'll just see him shoot like a 64 out of nowhere and just like backdoor a top 5 or a top 10. So I think Xander's definitely in play for tournaments at 11K. We don't really need that much salary, so I think it'll be pretty easy to jam in Xander if we want. I think we could even play Xander and Cole like in that big $20 lotto type GPP to kind of get different there, and then jam some of those other guys that we like more up top on the leaderboard there. So I think that's a good starting point. Mav's fine if you want to go there. He hasn't really done much the last 2 days. Shot 2 under the first day and then even par the last 2 days. He's fine if you want to get in there. He's definitely not a guy I'm going to actively target or anything like that. I think Roger Sloan is a good fade if anybody was looking at him. He lost 3 strokes ball striking today, but gained 4 strokes, over 4 strokes with the short game. So just off the stats wise, I mean, Roger Sloan is an easy fade for me in that perspective. Grayson Siggs, fine if you want to go there. He was a value we were on coming into the event. Hayden Buckley was another GPP value we were on. Seabez kind of hurt my feelings today. I was a little higher on Seabez today. He had 2 good rounds to open the event. And then today he comes out and shoots 1 over. Only made 1 birdie today, which was kind of surprising to me considering he'd made at least 3 the first 2 rounds. So you could throw him in there. Our guy Sammy Valmecki, He was a good guy for us earlier in the year. Adam Shank was a soldier this week. He's kind of hanging around down there. He went birdie to start and then made a bogey and just kind of lost all momentum today. Shot 70. Some of these other guys, Rio Hisatune, I probably won't go back to him today. I have a little bit of him in the main slate. Taylor Moore made birdie on the final hole to make the cut and then comes out and shoots 200 today. He's definitely a guy you can have in the pool. He made 4 birdies today. Solid option there. And then that's pretty much it for me in this -2 to -3 range.
Yeah, this range, clearly a range that we're gonna, have to consider. And like, also speaking of like the studs, like with Xander and everything, and we'll get to Justin Thomas and what to do with him. But like, I think a lot of people are gonna plug in a Cam Young and a Keith Mitchell kind of build, because if you plug that in, you have 7,600 for your last 4 spots. That's not hard to make a team. You can easily dip down to some cheap options. So I kind of think that that's going to be a very popular build. I don't know. That could leave Xander getting a little under-owned at 11K. So I think it's worth kind of calling that out there. Snyder, do you kind of agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I think so for sure.
Yep. Let's move this thing along, though. Let's go on over to the all right. So we got T55. And I guess we can lump this bucket together. So, like, basically the bottom guys, the guys who have been struggling. I mean, obviously not for the whole event. They made the cut. But guys that have been struggling for sure a ton. We'll go with Webb Simpson to kick it off. I haven't played Webb Simpson in years, Snyder. I don't think I'm starting now. I don't know if it's years, but it's been a while. I don't think I'm starting with Webb Simpson here on a round 4 showdown. Callum Tarrant is someone that I think has upside at times, but he hasn't been playing well, so I doubt I'll be on him. And I know you normally like Goddard up in some of his upside. I don't think the upside's great here, but maybe I'm wrong. The real guy we need to discuss in this range is Justin Thomas. He's 3 over, and being 3 over par, it's bad. But I think he's going to have virtually, I don't know if I should say no ownership, but it's going to be low. Like, gotta be at least 15% or below. Maybe it is single digits. I'm curious your thoughts on him, because I think if you are considering anyone cheap down here, it's maybe like a Goddard up as a dart, or if someone you just have like a real lean on, maybe you have some takes on it from some of the numbers you're seeing. But the only guy I could even see myself considering is just the leverage play of Justin Thomas versus these other guys. Is it worth taking the shot on? For me, I don't even think it's going to be worth taking the shot on, but I'm curious your thoughts.
No, I think JT has pretty much mailed it in after shooting 79 today. He was right up there. He was 1 back of the lead coming into today and shot 8 over. I mean, just an abysmal, just what we've been seeing from JT at times. Something's not right with him. Too much noise between the ears from him. I think he's got a lot of stuff going on up there. Definitely not going to be on. Actually, there's not a guy from even par down to +7, last place guy. None of these guys shot even par today. They were all on the downside of things. So I think I'm going to be avoiding all these guys mainly. I mean, you can make a case for JT considering he lost over 7 strokes putting today, which might be the highest number I've ever seen anyone ever do in a PGA Tour event. I mean, I've seen Morikawa lose 3 or 4 strokes. We've seen Scotty lose 2 or 3 strokes. I have never seen a golfer lose 7 strokes putting in a round. I'll have to kind of go back and see how he did that. Kind of interested to see how many putts inside 5 feet he missed with that big of a number there. That's pretty wild as I just pulled that up. Yeah, all these guys were pretty bad across the board. Callum Tarrant gained almost 3 strokes putting today and still shot over par. He's got some upside, though. He made 5 birdies today, just made a couple of bad mistakes today, made some big numbers. So I think if there's anyone down here to take a stab on, I think it might be Callum Tarrant at 6,100. That's the min price there. If you want to play like a Xander, Cole, and some of those other guys up at the top, you could throw in Tarrant there. Kind of as an upside GVP guy. Very large field, though. I just don't see myself getting to any of these guys. Just a lot of really bad scores down here from today. Sam Ryder was up and kind of in contention, was inside the top 15, I think. He shot 7 over today. Yeah, it's just a rough scene from most of these guys today. I'll probably be off of these guys mainly.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tough range for sure. I mean, the more we talk about it, I wouldn't even Xing this range out, right? And just like,
oh, yeah.
And honestly, there's enough guys, I think, that you could take chances on here. and the scores are so tight between a lot of these golfers. Like the difference, like for instance, the guy who's at 3 under, he's T27. Dude, if they get 3 birdies, right, just they double their score, they're up to T8. It's just a really tight and close gap where I think the ownership's going to be spread out too. So I don't think the ownership's going to be spread out in these top end guys, though. I do think Keith Mitchell's going to come in with a very high ownership for sure. I think between Malnati and Power, McKenzie and Young, can you rank like where you think a lot of the ownership is going to go? Because I think a lot of when we talk about these top end guys, I'm not saying like you need to fade any of the guys at the top. Obviously, these guys at the top are good plays and in good spots, but I think it's good to know where like the majority of the ownership is going. And sometimes you may make a group. Like sometimes I like making a group in these showdown contests, like between Mitchell, Malnati, and Power, and like Hughes. Maybe I'll make a rule max of 2, right? And that instantly will maybe give me some unique kind of build. Not that I think these guys are bad plays, but it's giving me unique constructions compared to the field. So between those, like put Cam Young in the mix too. Where do you think like the ownership lies on all these guys at the top?
Yeah, I think we're going to see just a ton of very even flat builds tomorrow. I think Mitchell's going to see a ton of ownership because none of these guys are really that cheap, but none of them are really that expensive either. Like you could comfortably play like the top 4 guys and still have a couple of these cheaper guys down here, like Juan or something will probably be one of the more popular guys, I think, from a value perspective. I think Cam Young will see he'll maybe see half the ownership that Keith Mitchell does just based off the price tag. He's at 10K. Mitchell's at 9.6. And Cam Young really, he was fine today from a ball striking standpoint, but he's definitely got the upside though. Like we saw from him today, he made 5 birdies and an eagle, but he made some mistakes as well. But round 2, he made 3 birdies. Round 1, he made 5 birdies. So he's definitely got the upside there. I think Keith Mitchell is definitely going to see a ton of ownership tomorrow. We've seen him kind of close these situations out in the past too. Just a good spot for him. I think like Power, it's kind of tough with like Malnati and Power. They all and Hughes, all 3 kind of seem a little overpriced at 8K, 7,900 and 8,900. So I think that just they kind of all around like 20% ownership or something like that.
Yeah, I think bringing up some good points there with all that. And I do agree on the Keith Mitchell. He is going to be crazy owned. And one thing I definitely like is I like going down to the bottom, Xing a lot of those guys out, setting a rule up top like I kind of talked about, and then kind of letting some of those chips fall in the way we talked about. Up in some of the guys that we discussed that we really like, and then kind of maybe lowering some of the guys that we're not as high on, and then just run it. I think that's a great way to kind of go about it. Snyder, do you got any final thoughts or any soldiers for the people? Everyone loves a Snyder soldier. Do you got any round 4 soldiers for the people?
Yeah, we could give out a core here if you want. A little, each give 2 guys or something.
Yeah, we do that. And also, how did the soldiers do this week, Snyder? Did the soldiers make it through the cut line, or was it a bad week?
Trying to think who even were the soldiers. I have to find it. Yeah, I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I know I had Xander and Eric Cole and Brian Harmon for the Generals. Harmon missed the cut. Here, let me pull it up quick. I got it right here.
Yeah, pull it up there. I'm looking at the playbook too, see if I can get it. So you had Adam Schenk, Lucas Glover, and Andrew Novak, which we talked about.
They all made it.
Did Novak made it too? Okay, so they all made the cut. That's good to know. And I mean, Glover's got a shot to shoot up there a little bit and get that T10 for you. So, yeah. All right, let's look. Let's give out a course now. Right? Do you want to kick it off?
All 3 soldiers are inside the top 40, so we may have a chance for one of them to kind of sneak up there in the top 10.
Yep, definitely. I think Glover's going to be the guy that could sneak in there for you. But who's one guy you want to core up here? We'll give out a core for the people.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go the little contrarian. I'm gonna go Eric Cole for the first one. There at where's he priced? 9,300. That's gonna be a longer shot play, I think.
All right, so we got Eric Cole in there. Eric Cole will be one. Let's see see if there's like a cheaper option we discussed that I really wanted to, because I didn't mind putting a Lucas Glover in, but let's see. I do like, because I like the Eric Cole idea. Can we do? Are we going to put Keith Mitchell on this? Yes or no? How do we feel about Keith? Let's make that decision.
Yeah, we can do that if you want.
But do you think Keith Mitchell wins and is a good play here? Or do you want to fade him? What do you think?
I think he's a good play based off his stats. I think he's a solid option. Yeah.
All right. Well, I wanted to put Lucas Glover in, but let's see. So we'll put Keith in. All right. Let's see. Who's the value that we like, Snyder? That's what I'm trying to figure out. The value.
Yeah, that's the toughest part, I think, on this. I think we just go with our guy Carl Wan there at 6,600.
All right, let's put Carl in there. I like that. I think we need some value, so that's perfectly fine. Here's another idea I was going to suggest, and maybe you can look at some of the stats and give me the suggestion. One of the soldiers that you liked this week. Actually, let me see if he's a better one. So it could be Svesson or it could be Shank. I like Shank. He was one of your soldiers. Yeah. He's also further back, and he's a little bit of a value. Is he worth taking a stab on? How are his numbers again? Did you mention that?
I'm gonna find him here.
Yeah, find his numbers because if he looks like a good play, let's plug him in. If he's not a good play, then that's okay. We'll find someone else.
I think he's fine. Yeah.
All right, we'll plug in Adam Shank then. So that'll be the core. The core for us will be Eric Cole, Keith Mitchell, Carl Ewan, and Adam Shank. We got Cole and Shank. Hopefully they have that early morning. They absolutely crush. So that's the hope that we'll have here for sure. So that will wrap it up for us, though. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the Showdown Round 3 show. We got the Masters coming up, Snyder, so I'm sure you're excited about that. We got 2 weeks, though. What's next week's event, Snyder? What's the one
Houston.
coming up?
Scotty the Kid's playing next week.
There you go. It's always a fun week when I can just lock in Scotty and figure out my 5 other golfers.
Easy.
But that'll wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. For me, Mango, and Snyder, we will see you guys later.